Hello, and welcome to Glanbia's Dairy Focus. In this week's episode, we will continue the conversation on grassland management. We will talk a little bit about the Salmonella vaccine, but starting off we do with the latest CellCheck update.
So we're going to look at the basics and biology of mastitis so that we can manage and prevent it. Mastitis is caused by bugs that invade the udder through the teat end and multiply and cause significant damage. Now, in order to grow, these bugs love moisture. They get that maybe through wet cubicles. They like warmth, such as you get in a poorly ventilated shed. They also like dirt, and you can get that in a soil calving box or even on dirty hands or worn liners. So keeping the teats healthy is key. Not just the skin, but also and especially the teat end. So the teat ends can become damaged by over milking and also through poor milking routine. Remember that the teat is also open during normal milking so that bugs can enter from soiled hands or even during cluster application and removal. So remember, when the bacteria invade, the white cells from the blood come to defend, and these white cells are really somatic cells. So the higher the somatic cell count, the higher the infection. There are two types of bugs normally: contagious bacteria such as Staph aureus that can often be associated with scar tissue that's difficult to manage, and also environmental bacteria such as E. coli that can cause toxins in very sick cows. In summary, by reducing the bacteria through cleanliness and keeping the teat healthy, we can prevent and control mastitis.
Average grass growth rates this week, according to Pasture Base Ireland, stand as an average of 69 kilos of dry matter per hectare per day, with that average in Leinster being 71 kilos of dry matter per hectare per day and it being 67 for the Munster area. As grass growth rates remain high, it's important to walk the farm a little bit more regularly, ideally twice a week or every 5 days, in order to react to those high grass growth rates and make good decisions in order to maintain quality on the milking platform. Nationally, average growth is exceeding average demand by an approximate figure of 14 kilos of dry matter per hectare per day. So an accumulation of grass on many platforms. And if we're looking at Pasture Base Ireland data, average pre-grazing yields are currently in excess of 1,600 kilos of dry matter per hectare, which is too high, our target being between 1,200 and 1,400 kilos of dry matter per hectare. Where those pre-grazing yields are continuing to be too high, we'll have poor graze outs and achieve poor residuals. We'll have knock-on consequences with those residuals being poor on quality in our subsequent rotations. And then we'll also have a significant effect on milk solids produced per hectare. Currently on farm, we should be starting into our final rotation in that summer grazing period as we start to move into the autumn build-up period. Ideally, this would be your 7th rotation on farm, and if we think about it quite simply, if the target is to grow 14 tonnes of dry matter grass per hectare annually, we should be on target at the moment to have grown 8 tonnes year to date. And if we look specifically at the calendar year, ideally between the 7th of April and the 5th of August, rotations 2 to 7 should have taken place. During this final rotation of that summer grass or grazing period, and we have high grass growth rates being achieved on farm, quality should be the main focus in order to have really high quality grass in front of the cows as we move into that autumn build-up period and optimise milk solids produced.
Over the next 2 months, many herds around the country will be planning the Salmonella vaccination. Traditionally, early autumn is seen as the highest risk period for Salmonella. And this can be seen as abortions, it can be seen as sick cows and calves with diarrhea. And controlling Salmonella has clear benefits, and the vaccine plays a key role in controlling the disease. Now, there's a few things to remember about the Salmonella vaccine. First of all, avoid giving the cows other vaccines in the 2 weeks before and after they receive the Salmonella vaccine. You can do the herd test, you can have the cows in for dosing or for pregnancy scanning, and give them the vaccine at the same time. Just avoid using other vaccines. Cows only starting off, or animals only starting off on the Salmonella vaccine, need 2 shots, 2 injections 3 weeks apart. Animals that have received the Salmonella vaccine last year, they only need their annual booster, which is a single injection within the 12 months of the previous injection. And that will keep them covered for the next 12 months. If you want any more information on any of the topics covered in this week's episode, please contact your local Glanbia representative or log on to glanbiaconnect.com.